Welcome to our video tutorial where we illustrate using worksheet and VBA string functions to manipulate text strings with VBA code. Presently you are viewing sheet 2. Cell A2 contains the text string which is to be manipulated. And you can view the manipulated text string in cell A3. Let's go to the Visual Basic Editor and run through the macros which have been used to manipulate the text string. These macros, they're located in the standard code modules. You see the standard modules 1 to 5 here. So our current macros are located in module 3. This sub which you are viewing calls the string manipulation function, passing the text string as an argument. The sub starts by activating sheet 2 with the dim statement. The cell A2 value which contains the text string which is to be manipulated, it is assigned to the string variable strtext. This variable is passed as an argument to string manipulation function which manipulates the string and returns it to be entered in cell A3. So now let's go to this function string manipulation, to which the text string has been passed as an argument. This function uses VBA and worksheet replace functions, trim, len, write, mid, chr, ASC, UCase functions to manipulate the string. The string is manipulated in 4 steps. In the first step, we remove all the numericals. In the second step, we remove all the leading, trailing, and multiple blank spaces between each word. We leave a single space between each word. In the third step, we add a space after each sentence. Each sentence finishes with either an exclamation, comma, full stop, and question mark. A sentence does not finish with a comma. It finishes either with an exclamation, full stop, and question mark, but we add a space after each of these characters. Then we capitalize the first letter of each new sentence. A sentence ends with an exclamation, full stop, and question mark. So we have added a space after each of these in the previous step, and then we capitalize the first letter of the new sentence. And we also capitalize the first letter of the text string. Here we have the dim statements. So we come to the first step, in which we remove all the numericals. We use the VBA chr function. It returns a string character identified to the specific character code. So chr48 to chr57, they represent the numerical 0 to 9 in ANSI character codes. Excel uses ANSI character set for Windows computers, whereas Macintosh uses a separate Macintosh character set. So here we have used the ANSI character set. So chr48 will return the numerical 0. So we run through each of these numericals using the VBA replace function. So within the string, we are looking for each numerical. So chr48 has returned 0. If this numerical is found, it is replaced by a 0 length string, essentially deleting the numerical. So we run through we find each numerical 0 to 9 using these chr function here. So after removing numericals from the string, we come to the next step, in which we remove all the leading blank spaces, the trailing blank spaces, and multiple blank spaces between each word. We simply use the worksheet trim function for this. It deletes the leading blank spaces, trailing blank spaces, and the multiple blank spaces between each word and leaves only a single space. And you may note that a blank space is represented by CHR32, the ANSI code 32, and the trim function removes only this blank space. So now we come to the next step, in which we have added a space after each exclamation, comma, dot and question mark. A sentence finishes with exclamation, dot and question mark, not after a comma. So essentially a space is added also after each sentence finishes and also after a comma. We start by determining the length of the string using the len function. Here we loop through each character starting from the last character to the first using step -1. We determine if the character is either an exclamation, which is returned by CHR33, or a comma, CHR44, or a full stop, CHR46, or a question mark. So if we have found any of these characters here, then so basically the nth position, if it is an exclamation, comma, dot or question mark, then we check the next character after this position, and if it is not a blank space, and if it is not the last character, because we don't want to add a blank space after the last character, so we exclude that. And if the character following exclamation, comma, dot or question mark is not a blank space, we add a blank space in this code line. How have we done this? We have used the mid function here. This starts from the first character in the string till the nth character. So all the characters up to the exclamation are determined here using the mid function. We add the blank space after this, and the right function is used to add to determine all the characters after the exclamation mark. So the length, string length minus the nth position. So this in effect adds the characters up to the exclamation mark, the blank space is added, characters to all the characters to the right of the exclamation mark. So the new string is returned after adding the blank space. Now the length of the string has increased by 1 because of this blank space. We update the string length. This is required for correct use of this right function here. So we loop through each character, finding an exclamation, comma and full stop and a question mark, and then determining if the space after this character is not a blank space, we add a blank space here. So in the next step, now we delete a blank space before each exclamation, comma, dot and question mark. We start by determining the string length, then again we proceed from the last character to the second character. We exclude the first character here. Here we determine if the character, the nth character, each character which is being looped through, so whether that character is an exclamation, comma, dot or a question mark. Then we determine if the character preceding that character is a blank space. That is the reason why we have excluded the first character in this loop, because we cannot determine a character before the first character. So if it is a blank space, we use the worksheet replace function to replace that blank space with a zero length string. So the worksheet replace function, this is the text string, this is the character before the exclamation comma dot or question mark. If it is a blank space, we remove this single character with a zero length string, in effect deleting that blank space. And then after we have deleted the blank space, obviously the character position is reduced by 1. So to avoid rechecking the same character again, we have updated the n variable. So here we loop through each, we go back, loop through the next character, determine if it is an exclamation comma dot or question mark, determine if there is a space present, if there is a blank space before this character, and we delete the blank space here. So now we come to the last step, which is to capitalize a letter. Here we capitalize the very first letter of the string and also the first letter of each new sentence, implying the first letter after an exclamation, full stop and question mark where the sentence finishes. Then a space has been added after this, and the first letter after this, if it is a lowercase, then we capitalize it. We start by determining the length of the string. We loop through each character in the string. Again, as explained earlier, we use the ANSI code. We use the VBA ASC function, which returns the corresponding character code, the integer, for the text, for the string letter. So this is the syntax for the ASC code. So looping through each character of the text string, we return the character here. So this character used in the ASC function returns the ANSI code. In case the ANSI code is 97 to 122, these are the codes equating the small cap letters A to Z. So if it is a capital A, it will not fall under the ANSI code 97 to 122. So here we have determined the ANSI code of each letter, and if the ANSI code equates to small cap letters A to Z. So if a letter is either a small cap A to Z, we start from the third character onwards to enable determining if two positions preceding it is an exclamation, full stop or question mark. So if it is a small cap letter A to Z, and here we determine two positions preceding that small cap letter. If it is the two positions preceding that small cap is either an exclamation, full stop or question mark here, then we capitalize that small cap letter. So we only capitalize those small caps, two positions preceding which are an exclamation, full stop or question mark. We use the uCase function here. And if it is the first character in the string, because we have started from the third character here, so if it is the first character, we capitalize that itself. And if the character is not a small cap A to Z, falling under case 97 to 122, case else, then we go to the skip line, which goes back to the loop, takes us to the next character to determine whether to capitalize it or not. So this is how we have manipulated the string. The final string is returned to the function string manipulation, which value is entered in cell A3. Now coming back to the worksheet, you see the cell A2 string which contains numericals 2, 8, 7. They have all been deleted here. All the multiple blank spaces between each word, between manipulate and text, between VBA and code. Even the blank spaces, the trailing blank spaces or the preceding blank spaces have been deleted here. So you are left with the single blank spaces between each word. The blank spaces before exclamation have been deleted here. You see this check word, we have added a blank space after the full stop, and the first letter of the sentence has been capitalized here. So we have got a proper manipulated string in cell A3. We hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial and you found it useful. Thank you.